Okay, yes men dilemma. How would you handle this? Number one thing, do not overreact to different situations. When your child is talking to you about their friend, about any other situation, what we usually do is we immediately get upset, we overreact, we start giving lectures to our children. Now, what you have to do is stay calm. Don't blame them. Don't lecture them. Don't yell at them. Look up at these situations, asking yourself, what are the risks involved? What is my child trying to convey to me? Where I can put in my right share. Then talk about who is a true friend. Because yes man is dilemma is usually when we listen to our friends. Your kids even these days could be coming to you when you're telling them to have a routine, sit down, study, and they would be repeatedly coming to you telling you, my friend is so lucky, they sleep the whole day, they have their own tab, their parents are letting them still eat junk, order food, and they can get away with anything, and you're making this pandemic into a jailhouse for me and adding on to my misery. So you can tell them who is a true friend, with the ones who are not going to be involved in dangerous, hurtful, illegal kind of activities. Because if you're listening to them, if you're becoming yes men to them, that's something which is very scary. Then you talk about what independence really means. Like yes man is when you tell them and also yourself what you need to listen to and what you need to say no to. And that also brings me to the next point, where you role model how you are not being yes man to everything that is happening around you. You keep your advice short and sweet, and yes, model no. When your kids are talking to you or anyone, they need to learn to say no. And how would they learn to say no? Like for example, on my social media, especially on WhatsApp, whenever I get message from people which is a forward, I usually, especially these days with COVID-19 situation, I usually send back this answer: kindly do not waste my time sending these forwards. That's it, period. That's my time when I tell people I'm not going to become yes man because you have sent me a forward, and I'm going to watch this forward and forward it to 100 people, and then those 100 people are going to be multiplying that. So similarly, if I learn to say no to such things, my kids are watching me, so they will also learn to say no to so many things that their friends or their cousins or their, like the digital world which is around them, is trying to put pressure on them. Third important thing is where you need to understand what are the important things to be done. Like put first things first. What are the important things? Use this lockdown time to create family bucket lists of doing different things. Like, you can put in your needs, everyone's needs, and once a day you can pick up those things, and then you can facilitate others in what you can do for your family members. And put first thing first would mean you need to have at least a set of 10 to 12 tasks every 2 hours that you have to accomplish with your family. It's starting with namaz, your duas, your recitation of Quran, your cleaning habits, your managing some tasks, or cooking, helping with the cooking, or again, doing some physical activity, even smiling, talking positively. There can be 100 things that you can write down that we have to do in that certain moment, and then we can think about just procrastinating or being a slacker or being a lazy person. Then school work has to be given a priority even in this time. As I said, a lot of schools are giving organized homeworks to the kids, but there are some students who are about to have their exams and the exams have been postponed. So what you need to do is still have a study time with the children and guide them, because if they have learned while they are studying what to study first, what to do afterwards, then they are going to be very smart in all the given times, what to do right now and what to postpone. Obviously, right now the kids are in the lockdown, but you can still, discuss with them money matters, where to cut out, where to spend, and then you can assess if your children have developed this capability of putting first things first, doing the important things in that moment and not investing in something which is not appropriate. And then yes, giving out service to different people, that is also important. Like if the father is getting up and carrying his tray, you have to be watching if the kids are rushing to help him or even rushing to help you in the kitchen. or sometimes giving you free time so that they can make up something for you. And similarly, if the grandparents are staying with you, then are they spending enough time with the grandparent and giving them company? Because sometimes the kids would come to you and ask you, can I play my game? And then the game is going on for hours and hours, because especially you are in a lockdown right now. So you can always tell them, let's do first things first. And you need to have a list of at least 15 to 20 tasks, like have you drank 1 glass of water? Have you eaten some apple or fruit? Have you done brisk walk of 15 minutes? Have you sat down for 20-30 minutes with some elder in the family, just spending time with them? Okay, have you cleaned your closet? Have you made your duas? Have you done a couple of other things that you can do according to the age of the kid? And then you can tell them, okay, fine, now you can go ahead and maybe play your game. Then what you need to do is you need to set aside some relaxed time where you can also talk about family priorities. A lot of mothers, they go through this very challenging task that they're always there for the service of their kids and their husbands and their sometimes in-laws who are living with them, but they don't have any time for themselves. Like there's no me time. Even the families, they don't even realize it. And I have seen many mothers having an extreme burnout because of that situation. If you have your me time, that would be very important, and you can always tell them that relaxing or doing certain things is also my priority. And the last of the thing that we talked about that you can do in this pandemic is plan ahead. How do you do that? Create some master calendar with your children and talk to them. I mean, they can put up pictures or graphs or stickers or doodles about what things they are going to do. You need to have a plan for a day, plan for a week, plan for a month, and also you start making plan for once this COVID-19 is done with, what good things we have learned in all this time and how we can still keep practicing them. Then you can make checklists with your children, what needs to be done, what activities have to be done, and you need to have those checklists in your kids' room in appropriate places where they can be watching it. Plan a day, has to be there. If your kids come up to you and say, I'm bored or I have nothing to do, that means you have not taught them how to plan ahead. So homework routines, even in these times, they have to be there. And also you can teach them to be entrepreneur, like, learn new things in these times. They can learn a certain skill if they are totally free, if they don't have anything else to do. I was taking a class of children in another forum, and I made this a graphic presentation for them. So you can give this to your kids today or tomorrow. You can sit with them and talk about the time wasters. What are the time wasters right now when we are in this pandemic lockdown? What can we do? So how to get rid of those time wasters? You can talk to them about where to say yes, where to say no. And again, you can actually give them in a graphic form and on a piece of paper. They can draw this picture, they can write down those things, and they can implement those things. And you can give them reward system. A reward system right now could be some stars, some scores, and ultimately, inshallah, when things are going to be better, you can always buy them something or celebrate their success. And what are the things which have to be done on time, which are the important things that have to be taken care of. And yes, planning for a day, as I said, planning for a week, planning for all this time is very, very important. And the more you focus on all these areas, that's when you are going to be learning something out of it or taking something out of it. So effective family time would be, right now you can cook together and eat together. A lot of families, they have been missing out on this element because they have been working. They were not getting enough time. This is something that you can enjoy. And yes, please make sure you don't make extensive and very luxurious kind of recipes. Make something simple. Make something that the kids are going to enjoy. You can read and you can explore many things. A lot of kids don't read anymore. You can do some chores together. It could be something very simple, very basic. Like I have given this Dettol and spirit spray in a bottle to my kids, and I have appointed them for a job that they have to sprinkle that sanitizer on all the doorknobs every day. So they take turns doing that. Then at times we sit down and we just talk about different things. And we don't have to lecture them all the time, but something which they enjoy and they can do as a family. Then another thing that you can do with them is study and help in some learning. There are different kinds of learning that we can do. We can make up some games and play games together. Some athletic activities are also very, very important. And yes, praying together is again very important, and we can do it. I'll finish off over here by saying that small quote that I read somewhere, which says, sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Right now, what I would advise you is, please don't panic. Please use the best out of this time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. Improve yourself in tawakkul, iman, aqidah, your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the sunnah way of life, and do the best possible activities that you can with your families. There is so much more that you can do which we have not been able to do living in that very, very artificial kind of lifestyle.